Lord. Hello and aloha, all the dear friends. Time is 11:59, 12 o'clock, 12th of April. My name is Abbas Tamuri. I am the elder of Baha'u'llah. I'm saying that for the record. I personally myself have no interest in even being called an elder. So we're going to continue anyways. This Blessed Mathnavi of Baha'u'llah, but I was influenced with it when I was first became Baha'i. Obviously you must have seen these previous videos in order to be able to continue. In this next 10 line, Baha'u'llah sort of starts a prayer. He's asking, God, which is himself, by the way, to do things for us. And as I mentioned before, he does not use the old plot that the Sufis in Islam, they used to do that, which is Salqi and May Kadeh and May and all that. Baha'u'llah changes that and he uses the nature of God as a plot to explain, as a simile, as an example, as an instance, in order to convey the matter as it is in most of his writings. So we're going to see these 4 lines today, and the rest of that 10 lines will come in the next videos. So the first line, he says, you have to read it this way because Persian they read right to the left. So he says, Sar bar ar az kuhe jan khorshid var. سر برآر از کوه جان خورشیدوار. And the next hemistich, تا ببینندت عیان از هر کنار. سر برآر is a complex verb. Sar itself means head. Ar means to bring. Bar is a suffix that adds to this verb. So sar barar, made of 3 different words, means to rise, manifest yourself, show off. Az means from, kuh means the mount, but we have a kuhe, I've done that here. It's a part of the grammar of Persian. I'll explain it later. As kuhe jan, jan means soul, soul of humanity. Khorshid var, khorshid again we said is sun, var is a suffix, means like. Khorshid var means like sun. So manifest or show off from the mount of the soul, like sun. The next hemistich, تا ببینندت, ta means till, ببینند means, the actual word is bin. The B in the front of bin makes it imperative, bebin. This N, A and D at the end means the third party, so bebinand, they see. T is added at the end, that means you. Bebinandat. T means you. So till they see you, ayan. Ayan means clear, evident. clearly, evidently, as from her every kenar, every side. So, the poem reads in English, manifest from the mount of the soul like sun, till they see you clearly from every side. So Baha'u'llah says, within our soul is like a mountain, like a mount. That's an example. Behind this mount, there's sun. That is the presence of God. It's within us, he says. But it has to come from behind the soul of man. Man is able to manifest it, he says. And once it comes out, wherever it is from, everyone can see the sun. Sun somehow engulfs everyone in the earth. This is about talking what that presence of God and the secret of immortality is, he says. He says it is the sun that is behind the mount of the soul. Soul is a mount. Behind it is the sun. Then he uses the same nature. This time from the sun, he goes into the moon. He says, جلوه آن روی همچون ماه را. جلوه ده means give. جلوه ده together is a combination verb. جلوه ده again means manifest, show off, let everyone see it, adorn. On ruye, on means that, ru means face, this ye is again, I mentioned that on the last line, it's part of the grammar. So manifest or show off, demonstrate that face, hamchon like, is like moon. Ma means moon. Ra is like the English word the, T-H-E, the moon. But the Ra there comes after the moon. We don't say the moon. We say moon the or ma ra. So جلوه آن روی همچون ماه را, manifest that face like moon. To say the face like moon is a Persian way of calling somebody very beautiful. I'm not familiar very much with English literature if it has been used, maybe in the Shakespearean language. I haven't seen it in recent writings. That the beauty of a face, they say as beautiful as like moon. But in Persian there is. The beauty of the face of the beloved is, use a simile to say it is like moon. So we had sun, now we have the moon. It says to God, show that face, show it off, manifest it. The face that looks like a moon, as beautiful as moon. Then go back to the second line. He says, سبز و خرم کن ز لطف این کاه را. I have seen this word kah been written as a gah in the Baha'i Reference Library. It's a mistake. It has to be kah. It's not gah. Gah means place. Kah means actually hay. So Baha'u'llah says again, Sabz و خرم کن ز لطف این کاه را. The second hemistich. Sabz means green. O, it has to be va, but in literature we just say O. So for the rhythm to become better. So sabz means green and khorram means fresh. Kon, do. Ze, here. It's the short form, is abbreviated of the word as. As means from. In the poetry, you can omit the a and just simply say ze. Ze means as. As means from. From lutf, grace. In this, ka, a. Ra again is the ka. So then it reads, green and refresh make from your grace this hay, the hay. Okay, you have to understand here, a hay is, actually the leaf of a fresh wheat that it turns into hay, like a wheat. So it's totally dry. Baha'u'llah says this hay, which used to be green, which used to be fresh, it says from your grace, make it again green and fresh, this hay. The reference of this line is talking about us. Much like myself. I was really a hay of the Muslim civilization. But somehow from His grace, by my own judgment, I don't know what's your judgment about me, but I became green and refreshed by my God. So, I'm going to go to these two lines and say that the discussion I had before, that who is Baha'u'llah asking? He's asking God from the mouth of the soul like a sunrise, so everyone can see you from every direction and demonstrate the beautiful face which is like moon. Make green and fresh from your grace this hay. So is God talking to God Himself? Who is Baha'u'llah? Who is God? Maybe I should very briefly back this discussion to explain to you into some answered questions. Abdul says there's 5 of His spirits: the mineral spirits, the vegetable spirits, the animal spirits, human spirits, and the spirit of faith, and the Holy Ghost. So I have derived from these 5, there's also 5 selves. There's a mineral self in us. When we're hungry, the body is losing the food. It gives the order to the vegetable body, the vegetable self, and that gives it to the animal software in ourselves, and then it tells to our brain we're hungry. But the message comes from mineral self-food, which you don't understand what it is, to the vegetable self, which has to balance this mineral, and the information goes to the animal, so animal gets hungry. So, and finally a man has to do something about it. So, and Abdul says the prophets of God, they share the mineral, the vegetable spirits, and animal spirits, and human spirit with us. But they have something else called Holy Spirit, which we don't understand what it is. We're almost like a dog looking at the shepherd. We see his kindness, we see his protection, but we do not understand how he does it. In between we have the spirit of faith, which is not exactly human. Now it has gone some higher stage than human, something between human and the prophet of God, which is like a photocopy from the real picture, which is like a TV, that you could see that picture of God on the picture of anybody on the TV. But the reality, which is Baha'u'llah, is something else. We could demonstrate it, like a picture on a TV. So here, the human self of Baha'u'llah, asking the higher self to show your face, as you have done it to me as a human. You manifested in me with your power, the infinite power. Do the same thing, he says. He continues, again talks about us. This is the third line. He says, قطره می جوید ز بحرت کوثری. قطره می جوید ز بحرت کوثری. کوثری کن زان که شاه مهتری. قطره means a drop. می جوید means seeking. D says the third person. Qatra seeks. Ze again is the abbreviations of as, and the poetry use as, ze. So the drop is seeking from. Bahr means ocean, sea. T is a pronoun, attached pronoun here, means your sea, Kosari. This is a very difficult word that Shobi Effendi has sometimes translated maybe, but in the Kitab Iran, Book of Certitude, he actually used the word Kosari as K-A-W-T-H-A-R-Y, Kothar. Kothar. So the drop is seeking from your ocean Kosari, which means immortality. Then he says, Kosari kun, make it immortal. Kon means do. Do Kosari, make it immortal. Zanke is a complex word. Ze is as, from. On means that. Ke altogether means from that. So Kosarikon, because of that you are. Shah means king. Mehtar means a higher level. There's Mehtar and there's Kehtar. Kehtar means low. Mehtar means high, like a lord. So the drop is seeking from your ocean Kosari. Do Kosari because you are the king of the high. So Kosar is actually a chapter in Quran. The whole chapter is one line. The Bab have written some 400 pages on this one line chapter. You know, if you've read the Nabil narrative, the the name doesn't come sometimes in my head. The famous Baha'i, the Nabil narrative, let's see, I remember it as that right now. In there, you could read it in the history of the Baha'i Faith, that the divine of the Shah, Muhammad Shah Qajar, the divine is Wahid Darabi. He was sent to go and find out about the Bab. And he's on an official mission, comes from Tehran all the way south to Shiraz, and he attends the Bab presence, and he says, on the first night, I thought he's just a young boy, and the second night I felt that he just knows a lot. So he had in his head to ask him about this particular chapter, which is only one line. And what does that mean? So it's a very huge 400. Bob goes word, letter by letter, he explains. It's very complicated. And then he goes on to say what this is. In Quran, God has pictured heaven to be a very green area, because all the Arabs are in the desert. But a beautiful garden, beautiful rivers, and there's a pool. That pool called Hawz. Hawz means pool in Arabic, and it is called the Hawz of Kawthar, the pool of Kawthar. That is the heavenly water of paradise that the believers drinks from that. So this is where the Kawthar comes, to be a pool of the heavenly water in the heaven where people drink from. So Bob has not explained Kawthar the way I'm going to it tonight. The verse is very simple. The story of this particular verse is that Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam, did not have a son. And if you don't have a son, you kind of have no honor, because honor would be with son, not with the daughter. So the infidels, the unbelievers, they would call him Abtar. Abtar means the person whose tail is cut off, meaning he has no successor, has no one to inherit what he has. They call him Abtar. Abtar. God says in that verse, إِنَّا أَعْطَيْنَاكَ الْكَوْثَرَ فَصَلِّ لِرَبِّكَ وَانْهَرْ إِنَّ شَانِئَكَ هُوَ الْأَبْتَرُ. God says, we have given you Kawthar. Those who are mocking you, they themselves are Abtar. They have nobody to come after them. The truth of this is that the Prophet of God did not have a son, but he had a daughter. This daughter is the holy lady in Islam, and she's called Fatima, which is by the name of the Holy Mary in the Bible. Fatima is the holiest of the holy of the women in Islam, and even it's written in a prophecy that she will return, and the Baha'is firmly believe Tahira is actually the return of Fatima, the holy leaf. So God says here to Muhammad, yeah, I didn't give you a son, but I have given you Kawthar, which is Fatima. Why? Because from Fatima comes the two children, Hassan and Hussein. And Hussein is the greatest of all the Imams, really, or what he has demonstrated, the greatest things of all the Imams. So all these Imams and the successors are descendant of Fatima. They're all children of Fatima, including the Bab. Because Bab is also called Sayyid. Sayyid means a person who is the lineage of the Prophet of God. So God says to Muhammad, I did not give you a son, but I have given you Kawthar, which is Fatima. Okay. So in this case, Baha'u'llah says, Qatred, which is a drop, again me, or us, he's seeking to become like Kawthar from your ocean. He says, make him Kawthari, making him eternal, like that Kawthar. Because you are a divine, the king of Mehtar, the king of high. So, as you can see, all these plots, from Khurshid to the moon, to the hay again, and the drop is all natural. natural usage of the words in explaining the spiritual issues. But sometimes Baha'u'llah goes back to an Islamic reference such as Kawthar, but not in the plot that the Sufis are using. Okay, the final word line here, tonight anyways, the four, I gotta go 6 more, because these lines are all almost like a prayer, asking God to do something. In this line, Baha'u'llah says, Zarre gashte multames nur Torah. Zarre means atom, very tiny. Gashte has become. Multames, pleading. Multames means a person who pleads, begs. Nur, your light. A again, your light. Nur to means you. Ra again, the nur of you. So, an atom have become a beggar for your light. Vaudehash, give him. As from Lotf, the grace, Bichu no chera. It's a big word, There are many grace maybe from God, but there is a grace that is Bichu no chera. Means that without any condition. Chera means why. Chun means because. Bi means without, because and why. Give him from the grace which has no because and no whys. This grace, Abdul says, if you're doing good, look at the God. When it rains, it gives it to everyone. The infidel, the believers, the bad, the good, everyone takes from that rain. It's indiscriminating favor of God to everyone. He says, do it like this. Do it that everyone can take part of your goodness. Do not be specific. Because it's as if we want to be nice to our friend. Abdul says, even in the jail, criminals, they're okay and faithful to their friends. As soon as giving is not bichu no chara, without because and whys, then it's not godly. Then it's political, then it's a deal, then it's you're doing because you're expecting something, Whatever it is, whether it's a spiritual or physical, we should not be like this, Abdullah says. We have to be like God. So, in this case, it's like this, Zarre, which is an atom. If you look at the quantum mechanic, this electron is looking to get the photon of light to become excited. That light we need to get excited. That zarre means atom. It's begging for the light, your lights. Give it. Give him from the grace that is without chun, without because, and without whys. No why into what you're doing. So, what time is it? Time is 12:28. We're going about half an hour already. There are more to say about these things, but I do not want to be academic in this, so then certain people can, understands me. I've always spoken in a language that is very simple. My vocabulary is very low, both in Persian and in English. So my poetry does not have any difficult words in it. People can say. The expression has to be simple. The meaning is difficult sometimes. You read the book of these philosophers, like, Bertrand, Jean-Paul Sartre, for example. The whole book is trying to say a simple word, but the matter was not very simple for the philosopher, so he extended for a book to explain what he wants. But when you read the book Some Answered Questions, it's so simple explanations of everything. But it's hard to get it sometimes because the meaning is difficult. That's not the fault of Abdullah. It's the difficulty of that we have had, with our training in the spiritual realm. But the expression has to be simple. So this is what we see, that Baha'u'llah is praying, asking God to help us, which we're like a haze sometimes, we're like a drop, we're an atom, but we're seeking the truth. He's asking God to help us. Which God? Which is He Himself. This human part of Baha'u'llah, the human self of Baha'u'llah, He's asking the higher self within Himself to do that. It happens all the time to us. For example, when you want to go to eat, you know that that's not the human is asking to eat. It's the animal who wants to eat. Human only accommodates it. Human doesn't eat. But human wants, when the eating takes place, to be in a certain area, a certain way of doing it, maybe music, because the soul enjoys that circumstances. But actual eating is taking place by animal, like your dog wants to eat, or do something. You go along with the dog. But dog cannot take you anywhere it wants. You control the dog, say that, I accept what you want to do, but you have to do it in these circumstances. Just like that, prophets of God also, their human part, the human side, the human level, is asking God on our behalf. He becomes our representative in asking certain things to be done. Very well, my half an hour is up, time is 12:30, and believe it or not, I will have to work again tomorrow. At one point, my doctor says that you do work, because right now this work is also workout. You need it if you want to survive the physical life still. But the year 2013 is very close right now. And I thought to give this Mathnavi to you, which is 318 lines. We have covered only a few. But I'm going to do it for you till the end. And if I had time, I might do a few other things. Depending on that, if there's customer, God keeps me here. But if there isn't any customer, I will be leaving you. It's like a program that will have to go. So it all depends on that, whether there is work for me to be here. Baha'u'llah be with you. See you hopefully tomorrow night again.